Right. Well, Neil Wallis is with me now. A very good evening to you.
Good evening.
So you didn't know phone hacking was going on. I mean, one of your colleagues, testifying against you in court, Dan Evans, said even the office cat knew, and you were deputy editor. You must ask yourself how this could have been going on and you not have sort of uncovered it.
Well, fortunately, this has been played out day in, day out in the Old Bailey, where I was sat in a dock, usually occupied by murderers and rapists and gangsters, and a jury of 12 citizens sat there. They listened to every word of it. I told them that I knew nothing of it. They decided unanimously.
They acquitted you, didn't they?
They decided unanimously to acquit me.
But
they believed me.
You must ask yourself how you had missed it. It was going on in the paper. You're not denying it was going on.
Not at all. Not at all.
How did you miss it?
Well, it could be that it was being done in a very closed, specialised area, and that it was kept away from me. The simple answer is the answer, I suspect.
But I mean, the editor knew, your features editor, the news editor, chief reporter. I mean, did you feel let down by them, that they had, in a way, conspired to hide it from you?
But one of the things that has been shameful about the way that the CPS and the police have conducted this is that you asked me that question. The number 3 on the paper, who'd been there years longer than I have, was arrested and cleared by the police. The lawyer of the paper, who was arrested and had worked there for 20 years, worked day in, day out with that news desk. He was interviewed at great length. They took no further action. He was not charged. The previous editor, Rebecca Brooks, who was in charge before Andy Coulson took over.
So some knew and some didn't know.
Plainly, my point being is very clear that some people knew, but very many others didn't.
Right. No, but I suppose I'm trying to get at how you must have felt let down that you had been excluded from the circle who knew, who had obviously hidden it from you.
I certainly
They'd gone out of their way to hide it from you, presumably.
I didn't feel as though I was upset at being excluded, let's put it that way.
OK. I mean, you say that there's a vicious, politically motivated campaign against you, but given that so many people did know, and some of them, Dan Evans particularly, said you knew.
Do you know how many journalists have been arrested as part of this?
No, I know, but
no, you can't do that, you see. 26 News of the World journalists were arrested. 1 has been found guilty on a trial, and 6 have pleaded guilty. 19 have been cleared. So when you look at how many journalists have been arrested over the last 4 years, how few convictions there are, this is a politically motivated
the judge
campaign.
Didn't choose to when the judge heard the evidence, didn't he? He didn't choose to say, look, there's absolutely nothing, there's no case to defend here, did he? He kept the case going.
A judge can't do that. It doesn't work like that.
The jury took 4 days, didn't they, for a 3-week trial?
Do you know how many pages of evidence there were? 25,000 pages of evidence. You know, that jury went through all of that detail. They took, as you say, quite rightly, 4 days. I was in the witness box for 4 days talking to them. And you know what they decided? By 12-0, they decided unanimously I was an innocent man. And after 4 years, I have to tell you, that was a long time coming, but it was a very welcome thing to hear.
When did you find out it was going on?
Well, about the same time as most people, really.
When was that, though? Was it when The Guardian published the allegations, which a lot of us believed, or did you not believe it when The Guardian published it?
Well, for quite a long time, the belief really was that it was a Guardian, BBC...
Seriously, did you not talk to your colleagues at that stage and say, guys, what have you been doing?
Well,
you must have been curious.
What you're suffering again from, Evan, is the disease of hindsight. You can say that.
I read the Guardian. I would have, if I'd been working at the News of the World and I had read The Guardian, which had details of cases paid out to people, I would have said, were we really doing this?
That
you're a
came
stickler
later.
For the rules. No, that was 2009, wasn't
yes,
it? Did you do
that's right. I had left the paper by then.
2011, you gave an interview to the New York Times and you defended the paper. In 2011...
I didn't give an interview to the New York Times?
The New York Times claims you spoke to them in 2011 and you defended the police and you defended the paper in April 2011.
Oh, I see what you mean, yes. Yes, I'm sorry.
So you were defending the paper in 2011, but by then you surely must have known. Then, really, the office cats did know, didn't it?
I can't remember when it was in 2011, but it is indeed true that what I talked to the New York Times about was what I believe the police behaviour was at that time. What you have to remember is this. The police at the time, in 2006, they made arrests. They were quite content that they had closed this issue down. They had sent people to jail. They had decided, with incidentally the connivance of the CPS, that that was the end of it. They had decided that. We believe them.
But I mean, later on, John Yates did a review of the evidence and said there's no evidence. What was going on there? How could he not have found? There were literally bags of evidence. And he said, I've reviewed the evidence, there's nothing here.
Well, I think
then you were acting as his PR within a few months of that, weren't you?
But
did you talk to him about how he missed it all, or what?
No, I never had that conversation with John Yates. But, you know, that's a question. That's a question you have to ask John Yates. You've had John Yates in this studio
but I'm
before.
interested in how you would have
I found out.
conversation with him about it.
I believed for many years that it was indeed a rogue reporter. I believed that. And by the end of it, as you say, as the civil cases started coming out in late 2010, it became clear that it was true. It became clear it was true.
Neil Wallis, thanks so much for talking to us.
Okay.